So my name's Aaron Elder and I lead Oxgangs Community Church. The passion and the desire, even from the very beginning, was how do we do something that's going to connect local people to faith? So that was the journey at the beginning, and that's really been the journey the whole way through. So that's looked like lots of different things. We've done youth mentoring over the years. We've kind of met in different places, had different expressions of church. We for a while met in the upstairs room of the local pub. We've done befriending services, we've done a football team, we've done messy church for families. We've had all these different expressions of kind of who we are as a church, but really the journey has been kind of planting out to make a difference in this community. And our real desire was not to plant a church at the start. Actually, we began with a desire to build community and make a difference. And really, as we saw local people come to faith, it was then we began to ask the question of not just what does a missional community look like here, but what does a worshipping community look like here. One example is a guy called Joe. And so even just where we're sat now, actually, this is where we met Joe, who came along and played for our football team a number of years ago. Joe had just been kind of in a process of recovery from addiction, and so we got to know Joe, and he got his first house in Oxgangs, and we sort of supported him through that process. Joe came to faith kind of in the midst of that. And so over the years, just the journey of seeing his life transformed by God in the midst of our church community has been really significant. So him coming to faith, him belonging in our community. I had the privilege of marrying him to his now wife, and then in the last year or so also seeing him have his first child. So he's got a little boy now as well. And so the journey for him of kind of really a life transformed by Jesus as he's engaged around our church community has been a really significant one for us. One of the things that's been really helpful in that as well has been the Forge community of practice. So every 6 months gathering together with other missional practitioners has just been a way for me and my team to gather with others and keep the main things the main things. Having done Forge and doing that as part of what I was doing meant that our values from the start were around mission, were around actually how do we make disciples here, not just how do we produce church at the end of it all, but how do we begin with even what would Jesus do in this community? I'd love you to pray for us in Oxgangs. If you ever think of us as a place or as a community, then pray for us. Pray for the raising up of leaders as we look to plant new expressions of church in new places as well.
Good plug.
That's a good plug.
Yeah.